Guyana has just drawn a bold line in the sand, rejecting Beijing's attempts to mediate a long-standing border dispute with Venezuela. As tensions heat up over the contested oil-rich Essequibo region, the relationship between Guyana, Venezuela, and China becomes increasingly complex. China finds itself balancing its interests in both countries, with billions invested in infrastructure and energy projects. But what does this mean for Guyana's future, its booming oil sector, and the wider geopolitical landscape? In this video, we'll dive into the history of the Venezuela-Guyana border dispute, China's strategic role, and the high stakes in the Starbroek oil block. Let's get right into it. The Venezuela-Guyana territorial disputes started nearly 200 years ago when European powers began drawing borders across the New World. In 1814, Britain formed British Guyana after acquiring some territories in the Caribbean, including Essequibo from the Netherlands. The nearby Venezuelans had gained independence from Spain in 1811, just 3 years prior. In 1835, the British Empire commissioned explorer Robert Schomburgk to survey the western boundary of British Guyana. The prospect of mineral-rich Essequibo River was too salivating to pass up, so a new border called the Schomburgk Line was drawn, far beyond the territories inherited from the Dutch. Venezuela, however, called it encroachment. The dispute was on. By 1850, it was decided that neither Venezuelans nor the British would occupy the contested territories. However, after constant arguments and incursions for the better part of 5 decades, Venezuela reached out to the United States for help. In 1899, a tribunal of 5 arbitrators resolved the controversy in favor of the Brits, upholding the Schomburgk Line in place while awarding Venezuela control of the Orinoco River mouth. Venezuela, whose case was argued by 2 American arbitrators, rejected the decision and blamed its outcomes on political collusion. In 1962, Venezuela contested the award's validity in the light of new revelations by Severo Mallet-Prevost, the official secretary of the U.S. Venezuela delegation in the tribunal supporting the Venezuelan claims of collusion. In 1966, Venezuela, British Guyana, and Great Britain signed the Treaty of Geneva and agreed to resolve the dispute peacefully. The British colony earned its independence and became Guyana later that year. After this, the conflict remained relatively dormant for many years before entering a new phase in 2013 when the Venezuelan Navy seized a Guyanese research vessel, Technique Perdana, in the disputed waters. The crew was later released, but trouble arose a couple of years later as ExxonMobil made a large oil discovery smack dab in the middle of Essequibo. The Starbroek block, located nearly 120 miles offshore Guyana, is 6.6 million acres according to current estimates. There are almost 11 billion oil barrels here. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Before the oil discovery, Guyana's economy was lackluster to say the least. It was the second poorest nation in the Caribbean, only ahead of Haiti. Sugar led the agriculture sector, and products like rice and coconut offered crucial support. Gold and bauxite mining were also important providers for the economy, and so was a small manufacturing sector. For a long time, the future didn't seem to hold any surprises. All of that changed with the arrival of multinational oil companies. Now, not only is Guyana committed to holding these critical maritime territories, but the country is banking its entire future on them. Venezuela, however, claims nearly 2/3 of all Guyanese territory, home to 125,000 of the total 800,000 Guyanese citizens. In 2018, the country petitioned the International Court of Justice to reaffirm their claims based on previous agreements, and the case is still in court. But it's not just about territory. Venezuela's long-standing grievances with foreign interests, especially in the oil sector, play a major role in the ongoing conflict. ExxonMobil, which operated in Venezuela's oil sector in the 90s, had a bone to pick. after Hugo Chavez introduced policies requiring foreign oil companies to cede majority control to the state oil company PDVSA, ExxonMobil refused the terms and withdrew from the project, allowing Venezuela to seize its assets. The company sought $18 billion for its troubles, and Venezuela countered with $353 million. The World Bank's ICSID ruled that Venezuela must pay $1.6 billion, a fraction of ExxonMobil's original ask. Because of this case, oil companies in the US lobbied extensively against Venezuela. The Obama administration intensified sanctions on the country, and an executive presidential order declared Venezuela a national security threat. The country filed no pleadings and did not appear at the oral proceedings of the ICJ case, leading the court to believe that Venezuela does not believe in the court's jurisdiction. However, the matter opened up in 2022, and Venezuela raised objections, which the ICJ dismissed. In 2023, Maduro held a national referendum asking Venezuelans whether they wanted Essequibo to become a formal Venezuelan state. The results were clear. The majority voted in favor of annexation, prompting the National Assembly to formally approve a plan to integrate the region. With a ruling from the International Court of Justice (ICJ) still pending in 2026, the court has urged Venezuela not to take any further action in the disputed area. As Venezuela pushes forward with its ambitions over Essequibo, the strategic assets and foreign stakes in the region add another layer of complexity to the dispute. Between 2020 and 2021, China masked $3.5 billion worth of Venezuelan crude oil as Malaysian before importing it, positioning itself as one of Venezuela's biggest trading partners and most critical security allies. Companies like Huawei and ZTE have been instrumental in modernizing Venezuela's telecommunication infrastructure, further solidifying China's influence in the country. The Chinese also have their tentacles wrapped around the Starbroek oil block, currently under Guyanese control. While ExxonMobil and Hess have nearly 3/4 of the stake, the rest belongs to China National Oil Corporation, or CNOOC. The Chinese have also won contracts worth more than $400 million for infrastructure and railway projects. With major investments ranging from Huawei's presence in telecommunications to the $100 million expansion of Pegasus Hotel in Georgetown, China has a hand in the Guyanese pie. When the latest Chinese statement said that the two countries should resolve the issue, quote, through friendly consultations and negotiations, it came off as a self-defeating gesture to Guyana. The country basically has the ICJ ruling in its lap, but it must avoid official claims and come to the negotiating table against Maduro's administration. Guyana's foreign ministry strongly reminded the second-largest economy in the world that, quote, the matter is pending before the International Court of Justice by a decision of the United Nations Secretary-General in accordance with the parties' 1966 Geneva Agreement on Settlement of Controversy, unquote, before adding that Venezuela's latest referendum is, quote, a clear violation of Guyanese sovereignty and territorial integrity, unquote. As the dispute unfolds, Guyana's determination to protest its sovereignty and its growing oil industry offers hope for a prosperous future. With diplomacy and strong leadership, there is potential for stability and growth, despite the complex challenges ahead. Now, we'd like to know what you think. What do you think will happen next in the Venezuela-Guyana border dispute? Will Guyana's oil wealth secure its future, or will Venezuela push harder for Essequibo? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Also, check out our video about Guyana's oil future while Trump is trying to shift the energy market. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding story. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. This is CaribFocus. See you in the next video.